Okay, so your section numbers relate to how the third and fifth are arranged with respect to the root. Is that it?
Yeah, sonically above or below, higher or lower pitches.
Okay.
So section one means that the three and five are sonically higher pitches. Section
Okay.
two means that the three and five are sonically lower. Section three means that the three is above and the five is below.
Yeah.
And they're only that's it.
Hmm.
And for each section, and for each position,
Hmm.
you have a certain number of strings that are required to play that particular configuration.
Right, right, right.
So again,
That,
it's a way to catalog and index the information. That's what all that's for. And
yeah.
it's really worth kind of knowing because it really does help you organize it in your mind.
Hmm. Right, right.
Right, so that's what study all the triad sections and positions, calling out note function as you play it. I mean that's so you know how to practice this, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So that's what that is. And then the next thing that we were doing was we were walking autumn leaves in the key of B flat
Hmm.
or G minor, uh, however you want to think of it. Stay in the first five frets of your bass, doing triads plus the one because now you know how we have the bebop devices.
Hmm.
Right now we have walking devices, and the purpose of these walking devices are to restrict your choices, which forces you to be more creative with less material.
Hmm.
Because for your bass line to be solid, you need to own the triads. I mean, they need to be your main guys.
Right, right.
They're at the top of the toolbox in every
Hmm.
bass line that you ever play.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can't know those well enough.
Hmm.
Um, so being able to take a song and just improvise using just that information, triads plus a one. Now you know what that means, right?
Yes.
Okay, beat one has to be a root note of the chord, a new chord. Beat two, three, and four can either be a one, three, or five of each chord,
Hmm.
right? And then you always want to connect the fourth beat of where you are to the closest root note sonically that you can. You want to avoid the wide interval jumps. For example, if I were going one flat three, five flat three, I wouldn't jump down to this F here.
Hmm.
I would play this one because it's a whole step higher. I would go here because it's closer. One flat three, five flat three, one five three five one one five three one five three five.
So explain to me again when you say triad plus root, what is the plus root referring to?
Well, I just explained that. I said that the way it works is the first beat of each new chord has to be a root note for now.
That I understand.
All
Yeah.
right. Beats two, three, and four can either be a root note, a one, or a third, or a five. So triads plus a one means that you can use a root note on beats two, three, and four. You don't have to use a 3-5-3 or 3-5-3 or 5-3-5.
Oh, okay, okay, understood. Okay, yeah, I get it. Tell me something. Are there occasions where you would, in sequence, repeat a note?
Sure. But it depends on what note you're repeating. The three doesn't really work well repeating.
Hmm.
The five can. The root works the best. So I could go one, one, five, flat three, one, five, one, one, one. So the root is the strongest there. It doesn't really work well to go one, flat three, five. It just doesn't work. Or I go one, five, five. The five's a little bit more forgiving.
Mm.
But the root's the one that really does that the best. I would stay away from the other notes. You can, it comes down, it really comes down to, you have these things that, you asked me that question. I said, and I'm telling you from my experience that those things don't really work as well. But you may find a situation where it does.
Mm.
So sometimes you try it and see if it works. See how
Sure.
it sounds to you.
Hmm.
Because in the end, it's your ear that makes the judge. You either like it or you don't.
The thing that, so, you had said that one should generally try to avoid big jumps, right? But okay,
To
okay.
big consistently. You want to, you know, And it's also how you do them.
Mm.
Because that's one thing that the triads, let's say we opened up the whole neck. That's one thing the triads plus the one will do, because if I want to get from a lower, let's say if I'm on this C here and I want to get up higher, I might go 1, 5, 1, flat 3, 1, 5, 1, 1. So right there, I just covered a span of 2 octaves in 2 measures, and it flowed okay, because the 5 is halfway between the lower one and the higher one. So it's a smooth transition up. So just using quarter notes, that's the best way to transition up, is use a 1, 5, 1. A 1, 3, 1. That's too far away. It just doesn't smoothly go there as 1, 5, 1 to my ear. Right? So, I mean, if you're going, it's not going to be a smooth walking bass line. Now, again, that's an extreme example that nobody would ever really do, but it gets a point that, it needs to be a gradual rise and fall is generally the way these things like to sound. But if you do occasional jumps, that's fine. And, of course, you have rhythmic things that you can do. That you kind of step down to it rhythmically. That's another way to do it.